there, Vanessa Warwick welcoming you to another Property Tribes TV interview, and today I'm joined by Alex Caravello, and Alex is both a landlord and also I guess we say the founder of Landlords Rent.
That's right, yeah. It's a fancy title, but it was just my idea.
Brilliant. So we're going to talk about that. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you.
Basically, you've created a direct debit product for landlords to collect their rent via direct debit. Now,
That's right.
This was basically born out of your experience of being a landlord. So what just basically tell us how you came about with the idea.
Well, it was as a direct response to what was happening post sort of 2008 with the recession. After sort of 12-15 months of experiencing greater rent arrears, missed rent collections, failed standing orders, and really just coming to the conclusion that I had no idea what was going on outside the office. I could check my bank statements, I could see the money was coming in, but I had no idea what my tenants were doing, what actions they were taking behind my back. All I knew were the results, and the results were always after the event, that I knew I had a failure. It's very difficult to deal with it afterwards. So I did a little bit of sort of blue sky thinking and just sort of sat down and thought, well, without boundaries, what is it that I need to solve this problem? And the answers were quite simple. We needed a little bit of control, a little bit of knowledge of what was going on behind the scenes. And really, I just read it all back to myself, and I just thought to myself, well, that is direct debit. And it's one of those crazy things that you just think, how did I not pick up on that before? So having come to that conclusion, I realised that, well, I'll go out and procure the service. It must be as simple as that. Do a Google search, I'm sure I'll find something that suits me. But they didn't exist.
No, so it's interesting that you say that, because let's just explain why it didn't exist.
I'm not so sure I know why it didn't exist.
I was thinking more of the fact that about the regulation side of things, and you have to have certain criteria to be able to instruct a direct debit, don't you?
Okay, well, yeah, maybe why someone hadn't had the idea to start it up before is because of the obstacles that were in your way, and this is exactly what I found. After several months of bashing my head against the brick wall, I did sort of think, there's no point in going ahead with this. I'm not going to be able to get this service. But I was driven by the desire to get myself out of the hole that I was getting deeper and deeper into. But no, you're absolutely right. The regulations still to this day are quite onerous. To be a direct debit originator, typically you need lengthy trading records. You need to be in the financial services industry in some way, shape or form. And typically you need to be a limited company. You have to have shareholder funds. Most of the banks ask for around about 200,000. After having been through all those hoops and realised that I don't satisfy any of those criteria, the final option I was given was, well, we might possibly be able to offer you the DD service if we have a personal guarantee on your own home. And I thought, no, I'm doing this to get myself into a better situation, not into a worse one. So yeah, that's basically the reason why, as an individual, you can't get a DD collection service. Having been to the direct debit originator that has offered services to the banking and banks industry for 25 years, I basically put together a wish list of what we needed, and it was something that was easy to use, preferably web-based, without having to install software on your own home computer. It's something that can potentially be accessed using iPhones. And it needed to be something that was landlord specific, so it needed to deal specifically with rent collection rather than small volumes, newspaper subscriptions, that kind of thing. And really it sounded like a big ask, but in essence it wasn't. They said, well, we can do this, but in fairness it will probably be cost prohibitive to do for you as an individual. So we had to get over that hurdle, and the way we did it was using the local landlords associations in Milton Keynes and Northampton. Got together a large pool of landlords as guinea pigs, and had an agreement with the direct debit originator that we would trial it for 12 months so that they could get a better understanding of their exposure to risk. And after that 12 months, we really realised that there wasn't any exposure to risk. Like anything, if you do it properly, you can completely get rid of any potential risk whatsoever. So they were very, very happy with it, and that was really only at the beginning of this year.
Brilliant. See, what I like about it is, to me, it's just something of a no-brainer, because let's talk about the good things. As you mentioned, it puts you in control. If you have a payment failure, you're notified straight away, pretty much. And I like that analogy you said when you said it's almost like you can put your hands into the tenant's bank account and
That's right.
take your money out.
Sucking the money up.
Yeah,
rather than
so
waiting to be paid.
I mean, for landlords, it must just be such a godsend, because it's saving time in chasing arrears as well, isn't it? Because you're actually minimising the arrears in the first place, and if one does occur,
Absolutely.
you know
Exactly. You hit
in
the nail
real
on the head.
time.
It's stopping it happening in the first place. I've been a landlord for 15 years, and I've had several hundred tenants over that time. I know that the majority of those tenants don't want to risk losing their home. I'm lucky enough to have never had a professional criminal tenant, if you like, someone that actually sets out to not pay any rent. I've been very lucky in that respect. But what I've discovered is that people generally, they get themselves into trouble. Once they're in trouble, it's quite difficult to get themselves out. And in fairness, pretty much everyone's biggest single monthly outgoing is either a mortgage payment or their rent payment. And so it's the one that's most likely to suffer the problems. You've got £5 going out every month for a magazine subscription. The chance of them not having £5 in their account is quite high. If they've got £1,000 going out every month, then you need a gas bill to come in and be £2 short, and it makes all the difference. So yeah, absolutely, we needed to get a handle on why these problems were occurring. Something else that I've learnt over the time is that as a portfolio landlord anyway, that you tend to find that the disproportionately small number of tenants cause a lot of your problems, it's probably something like a fifth to a quarter of the tenants I've ever had have caused 95% of the problems.
Often the way.
And they almost always are payment problems. So.
Brilliant. Well, I wish you lots of luck. I think it's a brilliant idea, and it really puts the control back into the hands of the landlords, as we said, particularly if you're self-managing. It's a great added value to what you're doing, and also of course letting agents can use it as well, can't they?
Letting agents will be using it with us from day one. Obviously we have plenty of landlord members who are also letting agents, and the massive added bonus for a letting agent is the reduced admin time. The web-based software is kind of push button. So you want some information, you push a button, it regurgitates out of the BACS report the information that you've asked for. And the one that you need to check every day is failed collections. Have I had any failed collections?
Yeah, boom, one button.
Yeah, exactly, because you're not interested in whether you've been paid. You know you've been paid if it doesn't appear on the failed collections report. So you press the failed collections report button and it says, today you've had no failed collections. Happy days, I'll get on with my life.
Brilliant.
If you have had a problem, you can deal with it straight away. From a letting agent's perspective, if they've got to do that for 100, 200, 1,000 properties every working day of the week, it's a lot easier to press a button and it say you don't need to do anything than to have to trawl through bank records online to find out that you don't need to do anything.
Brilliant. Well, good luck to you, Alex. I think it's a great product, and I'd recommend everybody watching to check it out and see that it might make your business more efficient and save you time, and as Alex said, give you more control, put the control back in your hands. So thank you very much for watching this Property Tribes TV interview with Alex Caravello of Landlords Rent.